I think I am live now. I guess so. Yes, I'm live. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Rishi. You have given the answer, and let me check whether I'm live or not. And do tell me whether you can hear me clearly or not. Do you think there's some voice issue or anything like that? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, I think I'm fine. So let's start the discussion. Today is 29th August 2025, and you can join me on LinkedIn. My name is Shubham Sagar. If you know me, you know me. If you don't know me, you will know me. Good morning, Anandu. And this is my Telegram family, which is somewhat inactive right now because I'm very, very busy with all this YouTube and mentorship and all these stuff. But again, family is a family. You can always join this Telegram channel of mine. Yesterday, I gave two questions, and Rishi has answered those two questions: statutory town and census town. What is the basic difference between them? And we have talked about census 2027. I have made a separate video on that as well. You can have a look at it whenever you have time. So what is the difference between statutory town and census town? So Rishi has stated something, and okay, cool. So the answer is B. Statutory towns governed by urban local bodies, census towns still administered by Gram Panchayat. We have discussed that even like Gurugram was earlier a census town. So they satisfy three criteria rather, led by census, and but they're still not statutory town until or unless they get that status from state government. So the answer is B. They are governed by gram panchayats and not municipalities. Very good, Anandu. So this was MCQ 10 and this was MCQ 11 based on African Union and Correct the Map campaign. So yesterday, because Hindu was on leave, so we covered 24th August Hindu, which was a Sunday, because we do Hindu analysis from Monday to Saturday. So yes, we talked about Correct the Map campaign, and there we have talked about this particular issue, the headquarter of African Union. Where is it located? Chepandi East. Chepu Telsu Ledu? Fast. Kuthai. Kuthai means where is it? Anandu and Rishi, they have stated Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Very good. Now let's move on to today's article. Very, very awesome articles today. Like there were too many good articles today. So industrial growth jumps to 4-month high of 3.5%. Now this particular article is important because here we'll talk about IIP, Index of Industrial Production. Then when we are talking about IIP, we have to also talk about Index of 8 core industries, because UPSC has already asked questions on index of 8 core industries. Pardon my doctor-like handwriting, and how they are different from each other. How IIP is different from index of 8 core industry. What are the different core industries which are there in this? ICI, so to say, which has maximum weightage. Then we'll solve UPSC PYQ on it so that you can understand what this issue is all about. Whenever we talk about industrial growth, etc., I always tell you this particular thing, that there are three sectors: primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. So primary sector, agriculture, mining, etc. Then you have secondary sector, manufacturing, and then you have tertiary sector, that is transportation, communication, even education will come under tertiary sector. So generally most of the country, they develop like they go from primary to secondary to tertiary. But in the case of India, we have bypassed secondary sector to a certain extent, and we have directly jumped to tertiary sector. So now the thing is, to take care of our manufacturing sector and primary sector to a certain extent, like mining, we have these index of industrial production. And within this index of industrial production, we have like this index of industrial production. I will show you something and then we'll talk about the data. It has three main sectors under this index of industrial production. This whole article, why it is important, after this article is done, you should know the basic difference between IIP and ICI, index of 8 core industries. If you understood the difference between these two things, the basic premise of doing this article is done. So index of industrial production, see here there are three components: mining, manufacturing, and electricity. So even primary sector means component mining is there. Under this IIP, there are multiple industries, but out of those multiple industries which are there in mining, manufacturing, and electricity, 8 core industries are taken under ICI. So you can even say that ICI is a subset of IIP. Please understand this. This is very important. And under this ICI, will see the 8 core industries. Refinery has maximum weightage, and these 8 core industries, they form 40% of IIP. So IIP has so many sectors. They are catering to, and they are giving weightage to different sector. So let's say they have 100 unit weightage IIP, 40 unit is given to this 8 core industry. So in a way, these 8 core industries, they determine a lot of things which is happening in our manufacturing sector primarily, because mining is primary sector. Hope you are understanding some part of it. You will understand each and everything. Just be with me. Plus, there are other differences also. IIP published by NSO, which is under MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. In the case of ICI, you will see there is a Department of Economic Affairs which is involved here. So that is a different ministry altogether. Base year for both of them is same, 2011-12. Now let's talk about this whole issue. So what is index of industrial production? Short-term change in volume of goods. What has happened? And it shows the industrial growth. So this current article which we'll talk about, you will see good, like this is an optimistic article. But then we have to see some data, and via that we'll also see index of 8 core industry. Cool. And when is it released? What are the things which are important from exam perspective? Is it released, monthly, annually, biannually, biennially? So these words are important. Base year for both IIP and ICI is same, 2011 2012. Do remember it. And then let's have a look at this index of 8 core industry. Hope you understood the basic difference between index of 8 core industry and IIP. It's a subset. So monthly production index that measures output of 8 core industries. What are these 8 core industries? First of all, have a look at these 8 core industry. Refinery, electricity, steel, coal, crude oil, natural gas, cement and fertilizer. What is important? Refinery has maximum weightage, after that electricity. So these 8 core industry. But this whole IIP is much more than these 8 core industry. So that's why it is a subset. ICI is a subset of IIP. Am I clear, Anandu, Rishi? Are you people understanding where we are going with this, what we are discussing here? Cool. So they have 40% weightage in IIP. So again, rest 60% other industries. They are not released. ICI is not released by MOSPI. Please remember this part. It is released by Ministry of Commerce and Industry, DPIIT, Office of Economic Advisor. There you have MOSPI when it comes to IIP. Here you have Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Base here is same. Cool. So index of 8 core industry. Now let's come back to the article. So what this article is talking about, so they are showing some hunky-dory figure. Industrial growth jumps to 4-month high of 3.5% according to different data. So mining, manufacturing, see here, manufacturing sector, electricity sector, they are doing good. Industrial growth in general is doing good, but not better than last year. That's what these data are reflecting that, and you don't have to do PhD on these particular data. So in contrast, again, you can have a look at this. Electricity has also witnessed growth, but mining, manufacturing and electricity, 3 components of IIP, mining has contracted. If you see the data here, mining sector, they have contracted. They are witnessing a negative growth. Again, we don't have to do PhD. Hope you understood what are the things which are important from exam perspective. What is IIP, how it is different from index of 8 core industry, and then there are certain data. Okay, let's have a look at the things which are important. I have told you what is IIP, short-term change in volume production of baskets of goods, and ICI is a part of it, sub-component of it. And there are 3 major sectors here, mining, manufacturing and electricity, which they are catering to. And the base year for both IIP and ICI is same, that is 2011-12. And have a look at this, 8 core industry and their weightage. Now let's solve some questions so that you can remember stuff, whatever we have discussed now. See this question, PYQ1 asked in UPSC 2015. In the index of 8 core industry, which one of the following is given the highest weight? Coal production, electricity generation, fertilizer production, steel production. So again, if you go back to the previous article, you will, like the previous slides rather, you will realize that refinery have the maximum weightage, right? refinery sector in the index of 8 core industry. But refinery is not there. So after refinery, good morning, Madhubala. After refinery, which sector has maximum weightage? Electricity. Again, if you go back, see this 8 core industries and their weight in IIP. So this 8 core industry refinery has maximum weightage, but refinery is not the option. So you have to go for the next option. So electricity was there, and electricity will be the answer here because refinery is not there. So electricity generation. And Anandu and Rishi, they have given the answer. Very good, yeah. Let's solve this MCQ2 related to IIP. Very important article. Many people may ignore this particular article. This is very, very important. So again, with reference to IIP, it is released by whom? What is the base year? Have a look at this. Very interesting question. If you're getting it correct, awesome. Released every month by DPIIT. Base year is 2011-12. Manufacturing, mining, and electricity are three core sector in IIP classification. Anandu has given the answer. See, DPIIT is not releasing IIP. DPIIT is releasing Index of 8 Core Industry, ICI, as we have discussed. IIP is released by MOSPI, you know, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. This DPIIT is under Ministry of Commerce and Industry, which release Index of 8 Core Industry. So there are so many things which people, you can get confused here, or which can, like, these kind of statements can create confusion for you. So you can eliminate one option and you'll be left with C2 and 3 only. So second and third is correct. Even if you know, good morning, Yukta, even if you know that the first statement is wrong, you can solve this question. The answer is C2 and 3 only. Now, next article of the day, page 8 editorial, Building Health for 1.4 billion Indians. This is an editorial written by Sangeeta Reddy ma'am. And here she's talking about insurance in health sector. How much important insurance is actually. And, if you have insurance coverage, how much helps it have, how much it helps you rather. Then she's talking about how this insurance penetration is very low in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and we have to increase the penetration of health insurance when it comes to tier 2 tier 3 cities. Then she will talk about Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, launched in 2018, and which is providing 5 lakh health benefits to, I think, how much? 50 crore people who are identified by SECC, socioeconomic caste census, but for secondary and tertiary care. So there are certain keywords here. There are certain things which are important from exam perspective. Now, there is one question for you people. If you people know, I think I have said good morning to Yukta and Madhubala. So if you people know, what was I asking? Health is, there are SDGs, right? You have SDGs, 17 SDGs, 169 targets. So health comes under which particular SDG? If you know it, post it in the comment section, and then we'll have a look at this particular editorial. This health thing is also there in GS mains paper 2. So that's why it is very important. Oh my God. So what this article is saying, we have dual task India, and then we have, like, this particular editorial is also saying some good things about India, that we have done some good things, and we'll talk about those good things. So we have to do two things when it comes to health. Very important editorial. Via this particular editorial, you can add some notes in your health portion of GS mains paper 2. So two tasks. First, expand access for underserved population. As we are talking about tier 2 tier 3 cities, villages, they are not getting the benefits of health care, so to say. Ensure affordability. Private hospitals, they're very expensive. Once you become, or once you suffer from a severe illness, there's a very high probability that you will go, or below the poverty line. So many things. Hope you're understanding where this article is going with all these scenarios. Current penetration of health insurance, 15 to 18% people insured, but most of them are in tier 1 cities. And if you see here, the premium to GDP, again, we don't have to do that much PhD, just focus here. Insurance market growing, but this is growing in the bigger cities. If you see here, we have to extend this insurance penetration to tier 2 tier 3 cities and even villages. Why we are only confining ourselves to cities? Now, good thing about India's healthcare, whenever we talk about India's healthcare, we keep on talking about the not so good things. Here, see the good thing. India deliver quality care at extraordinary scale at a cheaper price. When you compare, how we are delivering healthcare, like what is the price of our healthcare compared to West or Western countries. You may have heard about scenarios in USA and other European countries, how healthcare is very expensive there. Not with us, but the access part is the key here. How we have to, increase the penetration, and that applies to insurance penetration as well. Now, let's talk about the keywords here. PMJ, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, as we have just discussed, 2018 launch year, 5 lakh per family, around 50 crore people will be covered, who are the poorest people identified by SECC, socioeconomic caste census. They are providing you 5 lakh per, per family benefit, not for primary care, but for secondary and tertiary care. These are important facts. What is secondary care? What is tertiary care? All these points, they matter. You have to understand these words. They are very important. So what is primary, secondary and tertiary care? So let's say Yukta, or let's not take the example of Yukta. Let's say me, Shubh. So I have, too much butter in my nose, and butter is continuously flowing from my nose, and I'm suffering from, and all these. So now I am suffering from fever. I have cough. I will be going to, let's say, a hospital here in Gurgaon. So that is my primary care, first point of contact. Let's say they are saying that no, 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 your condition is very bad. You have to go to AIMS Kolkata. That is secondary care. Now, if AIMS Kolkata is referring me to AIMS Delhi back again, that is tertiary care. So Ayushman Bharat is providing you 5 lakh not for primary care, but for secondary and tertiary care. It will not provide me if I have butter in my nose and I'm going to any particular first hospital. That is primary. If they refer me to somebody else, then that is secondary and tertiary after that, and that will be taken care of by Ayushman Bharat. So keep it in mind, this is a tricky part. Cool, yeah, have a look at this. So prevention as cost saver. Then we have to apply healthier lifestyle. Is eating Chinese food, junk food, it will not serve the purpose. So prevention is better than cure, and that's what this particular author of this editorial is also saying. We should have a preventive mindset. You should, like when we are talking about us people, we are sitting a lot, sedentary lifestyle, move a bit, walk for 10,000 steps. So prevention is better than cure. Regulation and trust, blah blah blah. You can have a look at this, all these points. Investment and inclusion. In 2023, investment is coming into health sector, but again, that is confined to tier 1 cities. We have to move beyond tier 1 cities. Capital flow is skewed towards metro. That's what this editorial is talking about. So insurance must cover everyday and preventive care, and you can have a look at all these things. I'm not reading it. India can build a universal, resilient, sustainable healthcare system, but PPP is needed, public-private partnership. Now, this public-private partnership, later on, you will also read it in GS3 infrastructure. And under this PPP, we'll talk about, not now, this is health, but later on we'll talk about BOT model, build or means operate transfer, then BOT model, build own operate transfer, EPC model, HAM model, and all these models are important, but from GS mains paper 3, this is health, important from GS mains paper 2. So keep it in mind. And now let's solve some questions based on whatever we have read. Ayushman Bharat PMJ, this is one of the keywords of this particular editorial. Launch here, which ministry is involved. We have talked about all these things. 50 crore beneficiaries, poorest people identified by SECC. We have discussed this. 5 lakh, discussed this, but not for primary care, secondary and tertiary care. These are keywords, very important. Very, very, very important. Okay. So again, and you can have a look at this. Portability. Portability means benefits is available for both private and public, means hospitals. It's not like you can only access benefits in public hospitals. And yeah, let's solve some questions. This question is from the first article which we have done. Very important article, bro. Very important article. So consider the following industry: steel, coal, crude oil, textile, fertilizer. How many of the above are part of index of 8 core industry? We have just solved UPSC PYQ on that index of 8 core industries. So this is important, very important. How many of the above? Now here, try to think which was not there in index of 8 core industry. Try to eliminate. Again, a tricky question. Anandu has given the answer. So Anandu has given the answer D. Very good, Anandu. So steel was there, coal was there, crude oil was there, textile was not there, fertilizer was there. So the answer is only 4. UPSC has started asking these kind of questions, right? So Madhubala, Yukta, all of you have given the answer. Only 4. Textile is not part of index of 8 core industry? This is a tough question. This is not an easy question, and that's why Anandu, Madhubala, Yukta, you people have given the answer, and like you people are awesome. Fertilizer is a part, textile is not a part. MCQ 4. If you face any issue with audio, video, anything, just give me a heads up. So, which of the following is the direct health related sustainable development goal, SDG 1? Oh my god, what did I do here? So, again, this question is null and void. The answer is in front of you. So, yeah, leave it. They have given the answer. Okay, cool. Like it, share it, subscribe it, buddy. And you can buy into analysis PDF now at 9 per day or 199 per month, whatever suits you. Because I will be doing this thing for next 1 year. You can be a part of my mentorship program. In that mentorship program, Hindu analysis PDF is included, and it is applicable for till the time you are there in this UPSC CSE journey, till the time you crack UPSC CSE. 4999 is the price. And anything and everything is included in this mentorship. I'll be helping you in whatever way I can and whatever way you need me to. Plus, you can also donate. Let's move on to the third article of the day. Yeah, and Anandu Hannah, they have written like, yeah, that question could have been framed in a much better manner. That question number 4. Cool. See here, page 10. Which sectors are worst hit by tariff? Now, this whole Donald Trump and tariff thing is going on, right? But this article is awesome. Why this article is awesome? Because they have made things very simpler for you, written by Sharad Raghavan sir, and they have made things very simpler, which sector will be impacted and how much they will be impacted, plus what are the things which are important from exam perspective. Things like what is the difference between tariff barrier and non-tariff barrier. What is the meaning here? Tariff barrier means, let's say they are right now US is importing or US is imposing taxes on us, import tax and all those things. So this is a tariff barrier. What is non-tariff barrier? Let's say they say that they put a tab on the quantity, how much good will be imposed. They put a tab on the quality, which kind of goods can be imported, or they put some other restriction. But here they're not imposing any tax, so to say. That is non-tariff barrier. Phytosanitary and non-sanitary measure. We'll talk about it. You will understand all these things. Cool. So tariff and non-tariff barrier. Now let's have a look at this article. What this article is talking about. So US imposed 50% tariff on imports. Now we have to understand, like, and what is the solution? This whole thing, economy related, Indian economy, GS mains paper 3, topic 1. What is the solution? The solution is diversification. US is one of the largest markets for us. We have a positive balance of trade with US, but we have to diversify our market, because US is doing all these stuff. So diversification is one way to go. And how we can do diversification? We have already done FTAs with many countries. FTA, free trade agreements, CESA, SEPA. So we have to make use of that. Plus, we can also increase domestic consumption. That way we will not be dependent too much on export. Different ministries can come together and they can synergize different strategies to tackle this particular issue, because this is a huge issue. And if you see different kind of sectors like shrimp export, $2.4 billion exported to US, tariff has been increased to 60% from 10%. Andhra Pradesh prices fail. Diamonds, gold, jewelry, you see here, $10 billion exported. 2.1% tariff was there earlier, 52%. This is not a small figure, sir and ma'am. This is a huge figure. Many of us are not understanding what exactly has happened. If India and China, they are coming together to have talks, that means something big has happened. Something big has hit our sector, and you can see the numbers. Surat diamond polishing industry seeing production cuts. So these are some examples which you have to write. But from exam perspective, we also have to give the solution which we have just discussed. We have to diversify, we have to come together, increase domestic consumption, vocal for local, as our PM sir is saying. Then the third sector which is majorly impacted is textile and apparel. Now again, there is keyword here. What is the basic difference between textile and apparel? How they are different from each other? So textile is raw material. You can understand it this way. So you have yarn, etc. That is raw material. Apparel is the finished product. You have clothes made, ready-made jeans and etc. So that is apparel. So hope you understood the basic difference between textile and apparel. $10.8 billion exports. Apparel again, US accounted for 35%. Now tariff. See this thing. This is a huge thing, man. Seriously, man. God bless our manufacturing sector and these people who we are talking about, Tirupur, Noida, Gurgaon. You can see here. Then carpets, $1.2 billion exported, tariff has been increased from 2.9 to 52.9%. Other sectors, basmati rice, spices, teas, pulses, sesame. This is a big challenge for India, and hopefully, we are up for it. And then these sectors are moderately impacted. But even why moderately impacted? Because we are not exporting that much. $2.7 billion is not that much, but tariff is high, very high. You can see. Again, forget about the moderate impact sector, focus on the sector severely impacted. And this will be one of the major questions which will be asked this year. Like this year mains has happened, next year mains, you have to be ready. You have to give the solution. And we have just discussed what is the solution. These are the solution. Diversify export destination. US is the biggest market, but then we have to diversify now. Use FTA in a better manner. And then different ministries, they have to come together. We have to increase domestic consumption. All these are solution to address this particular issue, which is a very big issue, like very big issue. Let's see how things pan out. Again, MCQ 5 based on the first article. How, there are so many things which can be asked from that first article. Have a look at this. Which of the following statement about the index of aid for industry is correct? It is released monthly by NSO under MOSPI. Its industry together account for about 40% weight in IIP. Base year is 2004-5. It includes services like transport and banking. Do revise the first article very minutely. It's a very interesting article. So Anandu and Rishi, they have given the answer. Cool. And it is released monthly by NSO? No, it is not released by NSO. It is released by DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce. Yes, second point is correct. Industry together account for 40% weight. What is the base here? What is the answer here? And it does not include services like transport and banking. If you know the base here, write it in the comment section. MCQ 6 rather. Which of the following best describes a non-tariff barrier? We have just discussed tariff barrier and non-tariff barrier. What is the basic difference between them? Very good, Anandu. Very good, Madhubala. Madhubala. So, Anandu has given the answer. So, non-tariff barrier does not include taxes. It includes restrictions on, like, quantity, quality compromise, like restrictions based on quality and all these things. They will come under non-tariff barrier. 20% custom duty, again, it's a tax. A ban on import of certain fruits due to paste-related risk. This is means restrictions due to quality, and this is non-tariff barrier. Surcharge levied, again, this is a tax. Counter levying duty, again, this is a tax. It means anti-dumping duty and counter levying duty. I think we have talked about this in previous Hindu analysis. We'll talk about it in subsequent lectures also. One wrong, exactly. So the answer is B, as stated by first by Hannah, then first stated by Anandu, and then Hannah, and then Rishi, and then Madhubala. Very good. So the answer is B. MCQ 7. Consider the following: import quota, sanitary and phytosanitary standard, technical barriers to trade, export taxes. Which of the above are example of non-tariff barrier? Again, use option elimination. That way, you'll be able to solve this question in a much better manner. Think about what we have just discussed. Go for option elimination. These kind of questions are very hot favorite of UPSC, and very hot favorite of UPSC. And they do frame questions like this, right? Eliminate that option which you know for sure is wrong. So Hannah has tried it. Very good, Hannah. Rishi has tried it. So let's focus. Now, non-tariff barrier does not involve tax, right? No tax thing. It's about means reduction or reduction based on quality or quantity and all those stuff. So export taxes has to go. It is a tariff barrier, right? So eliminate four. If you eliminate four, you are left with A and D, right? Cool. Now A and D. So one and two, you don't even need to check. Third is technical barriers to trade. You are like imposing barriers because of saying that there is some technicality involved, this and that. Maybe you can do trade after 2 months. Again, we are not imposing any tax. So this is a non-tariff barrier. So the answer is D. 1, 2, and 3 only, as stated. Hannah tried it. Madhubala stated it first, then Rishi, then Anandu. Very good. Let's move on. Page number 14, nearly 60% of Manrega budget already spent in 5 months of financial year. Manrega's Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Act was passed in 2005, but this thing, started getting implemented from 2006. 100 days of unskilled manual work. What they provide you, 100 days of unskilled manual work. And this is right to work in rural areas. Unskilled manual work. Right to work not in urban area. This is not applicable for urban areas. This is applicable for rural areas. So these are the things which you have to keep in mind. Anybody can work under Manrega. Anybody. But I cannot go in current municipality and ask for work. I have to go to some rural area and there I have to demand for work. So anybody can work. It's not like it's confined to SC or ST. And if I demand work, work has to be provided within 15 days. If I am ready to do unskilled manual work, it's not like I want to do coding work or I want to do Hindu analysis work there. No, it doesn't work like that. So if I'm ready to do unskilled manual work for 100 days, within 15 days, the authority has to provide me work. If they don't, I have to be provided unemployment allowance. Now, the daily wages of Manrega, it is provided by central government. Unemployment allowance is provided by state government. So these are some facts and figures which you have to keep in mind, which is very important. Manrega, government is not very enthusiastic. Central government, not very enthusiastic. Many people feel Manrega will go sooner rather than later. Why? Because this unskilled manual work, this is fulfilling something known as right to work. But are we creating any durable assets? That is one question. Whether or not we are creating any durable assets, whether we are just wasting money here and there, because of which there are debates which are going on, whether Manrega should stay or it should go away. I have also made some separate video earlier on that, and that's why the budget allocation always remains a question. Plus there are other things also, delayed wage payment, then also certain allowance has to be given to people, but do they get it? The answer is no. Like these people who are working in this Manrega, it's not like they're preparing for UPSC and they're so knowledgeable. They're not. So many of them don't even know that they can get this unemployment allowance and delay allowance, and there is delayed payment, and there are issues here. So fiscal year 2016, 60% allocated budget has nearly, not totally, nearly has been allocated, and many of that amount is being paid or is being allocated for the delayed payment of last year. 86,000 crore earmarked, 51 crore almost spent. Finance minister again for the first 6 months. Again, you don't have to remember these facts. I have told you the important facts and figures which are important from, like, which you have to keep in mind. What Manrega is, why government is not very enthusiastic about it, and etc. Like the other facts, which is there here. So pending liabilities, outstanding wages. So these things are there. Government is not very enthusiastic. There are some pending wages from last year, and there are shortfalls. Current situation, Rural Development Ministry is asking for more money, but that has not come yet because we know central government is not very enthusiastic. You also know the rationale behind it. Now let's solve this PYQ which was asked by UPSC in 2011 related to Manrega. So among the following, who are eligible to benefit from Manrega? Hannah has given the answer. Madhubala has given the answer. Anandu has given the answer. Adult members of any household. There is no restriction. It's just that you should be willing to do 100 days of unskilled manual work. Rishi has also given the answer. Very good, yeah. MCQ 9. The government of India's strategy to counter US tariffs include which of the following? This is very important. These points will also help you in writing a good answer for UPSC mains. Have a look at these points. This is from the previous article. Short-term relief measures for exporters through multi-ministry coordination. Oh my God. Long-term diversification of export destination and better use of FTAs, reducing dependence on exports by promoting domestic consumption. Hannah has given the answer. So we know for sure that long-term diversification of export destination, we have to move beyond US when it comes to export destination. That's what we have discussed. So second is correct. If second is correct, eliminate the option. We have discussed we have to increase domestic consumption. That way we will be less dependent on export. So third is also correct. If third is correct, eliminate B option. You're left with C and D option. Now you have to check one, short-term relief measures. Ministers, oh my God, different ministries can come together and they can provide some measures for these exporters. That's what also we have discussed. So the answer is D, 1, 2, and 3. All these statements are correct. You may have issues with the first one, but second and third we have discussed. Multi-ministerial coordination. Now, this is a keyword. Just keep it in mind. This you can use anywhere and everywhere. Whenever they talk about different issues, how you can solve it, you can talk about this multi-ministry coordination. When we are talking about mains answer and the solution for it, this is applicable for anything and everything. So the answer is D, as stated by Hannah, Anandu, and Rishi. Very good. Now, if you move on to the next article, Rajasthan becomes first state to issue detailed guidelines on stray dogs after Supreme Court directive. Everything, all these first things are very important. Your first love, your first crush, your first kiss. Let's not go there. So yes, so Rajasthan has become the first state to issue detailed guidelines. Now here there will be certain terms which we have to understand, and not in UPSC but in other exams they can always ask you which is the first state to issue detailed guidelines on this and that, because this issue has become very big. Like, so many things were going on. Rajasthan has become the first state to issue detailed framework, and you can have a look at all these things. Local body must follow animal birth control. Now there are terms here: sterilization, vaccination, deworming. You have to understand these. Sometimes they will give you these words: sterilization, vaccination, deworming. What is the difference between them? Sterilization means what? These dogs, they have no restrictions, right? They can produce anywhere and everywhere. They can have, you know, they can copulate, they can have, okay, so to control reproduction, or to control whatever, hope you understood. I'm not going there, this is adult talk. So sterilization is to control productions of puppies. Vaccination, again, to ensure that vaccination and deworming, they must have some deworming, as the name suggests, to take care of the worms which are there, in whether they're infested or not, etc. We have this deworming thing, and then the vaccination thing. Just like we have our vaccination, they should also have their vaccination. So do understand the basic difference between sterilization, vaccination, and deworming. And again, human handling, you can have a look at this. The only thing, this is very factual, this is from pre-perspective. UPSC will not ask it, but then there are terms which we should know from exam perspective, and that's why we have discussed this. See this MCQ 10. So which of the following correctly differentiate IIP from ICI? This art, like today's class, has been overwhelmed by questions from this particular news. What differentiate IIP from ICI? Anandu has given the answer. Hannah has also given the answer. Cool. Let's see. So Anandu, Rishi, Madhubala, Hannah already discussed. So very good. MCQ 11. Have a look at this. So you have sterilization, you have vaccination, you have deworming. Which of the following pairs are correctly matched? We should know these terms also from science and tech perspective. Science and tech, health perspective. So you have GS mains paper 2 health, then you have also science and tech health. What are the basic meaning of these particular terms? Sterilization, vaccination, deworming. Madhubala has given the answer. Hannah, Anandu, Rishi, all of you have given the answer. Very good. MCQ 12. Which of the following state has become the first in India to issue a detailed framework on stray dog management in compliance with Supreme Court directives? So again, it's an easy question, right? So 10, 11, and 12, these three questions are homework for you people. And think more about it. We'll discuss it tomorrow. I think many of you have answered it also. Whether these answers are correct or not, we'll have a discussion tomorrow. Like, share, subscribe, spread the video far and wide, And yeah, you can join my Telegram family, Fun Study with Shub. You can post your score. Today we did like 12 questions. We increased the number of questions. 9 was classwork and 3 was homework. Like 3 are homework. If you have any doubts, queries also, you can ask it right now. Any queries. And I've told you Hindu analysis PDF. You can get it from me. 9 per day, 199 per month. Personalized mentorship program, Hindu analysis PDF included, and there is no time period for it. I'll be your mentor till the time you crack UPSC CSE, be it 1 year from now, 2 year from now, 3 year from now. And for that, if I have to do mains answer evaluation, personalized support, anything and everything, I will do. So thank you, the best. Have a great day. Glad you came back. Thank you, Madhubala. Thank you for such cute, sweet word. And also you can donate. So these are the 3 ways by which you can support me and we can benefit from each other. Cool. So that's it from me, sir and ma'am. Take care. Be blessed. And typing mistakes, sir. No issues, Rishi. And cool. Any queries, you can always tell me to wait and we can have a discussion on that. So I will see people tomorrow at 8 a.m. Take care. Be blessed. Tata. Bye bye. Thank you. Like, welcome, Anandu. I should not be saying thank you to thank you, right? Bye bye.